Good morning, folks. These messages are for you in your current time. Maybe it's a time that's coming up rather quickly for you. Maybe it's not started, but maybe you can feel the vibrations of something coming. I've already shuffled cards for you and laid them out. I've got 9 cards for you. We're going to talk about the first row for you first. You've got the Tower, the 6 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords. For some of you, this is going to be a divorce. It's going to be losing a job. It's going to be having to move out of a home that you've really enjoyed being in, moving out of an area you've enjoyed being in, having to leave because your circumstances no longer want you there, basically. This is the foundation splitting apart and making room for something new. You are going to be leaving this situation. I can see in the 6 of Swords and the 9 of Swords, that tells me that you're feeling a tremendous amount of anxiety about this leaving situation and about this Tower situation. Let's be honest, Tower situations often suck. Not all the time, but the people in this particular card, they're in great distress, right? So I can see you feeling a great deal of distress. Maybe this has already happened. Maybe it isn't happening yet. But for the people who clicked on this video, who are listening to this, if it resonates with you, don't run away from that situation. Don't run away from that resonance is what I'm saying. And don't run away from this either. Running away from Tower falls tends to make things worse. As painful as the Tower fall is, running away from it makes it more painful. I can still see that you're in a ball of anxiety over this. Underneath the Tower in my particular spread, you have the Fool, then you have the 3 of Swords, and then you have the Hanged Man. With the Fool, that is about a new beginning. I also feel like you're going to be carrying around quite a bit of heartbreak from the Tower fall. The Tower fall is the first card that you have. And above the 3 of Swords, you have the 6 of Swords, which tells me that leaving after this Tower fall will have its own trauma, and it'll just be painful for you. There might be a lot of memories associated with your previous circumstance that fell apart. With the Hanged Man, that's going to be sitting with the pain, with the memories that you've accumulated, and that's about downloading messages from the universe. The Hanged Man appears below the 9 of Swords, so I feel like you're going to have to put aside your deep anxieties about having gone through this. You're going to have to rest, because the 9 of Swords, that's about staying awake at night, not being able to get a proper night's sleep, because the ending that you went through was so traumatic. This new beginning, you need to hold on to that positive aspect, that there is a new beginning associated with this Tower fall. When a foundation breaks apart, it lays ground for a new foundation to be built. With the Hanged Man, that's when you get download from the universe, from your ancestors, from your guides, on what that new foundation is going to look like. And there is the risk that anxiety could put cracks in that new foundation that have no business being there. Underneath the Tower, underneath the Fool, you have the Ace of Wands. This is a whole new way of doing things. Maybe you've been procrastinating on doing something new, a new way of doing things, a new project. Maybe you needed to have that Tower moment to break things apart from you in order to give you a new beginning where you could do that thing that you've always wanted to do but never had the time to do, never had the courage to do. Maybe you didn't have the right people around you to say this is the right thing to do. And with those people leaving, with this old situation leaving, now you have the space to go forth and do that new thing. Next to the Ace of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. After that, you have the Hermit. There are no reversals in the cards that I've pulled for you today. I note that the Page of Cups appears below the Six of Swords and the Three of Swords. Even after all this pain, after having to leave a situation with a lot of painful memories in your heart, the Page of Cups suggests to me that you've got a beautiful new emotional situation coming to you. That could be a new romantic relationship, new chosen family, for instance. Maybe you're getting back together with friends that you didn't expect to see. With the Page of Cups, that does have a fish popping up out of a cup, so you're not necessarily expecting this. It might appear just out of the blue. And with the Tower, you made room. Going through with the Tower with an honest heart, seeking your best self, you've made room for a bright, brand new surprise that you weren't seeing, that you weren't looking forward to necessarily, but it's coming to you nonetheless, coming out of the blue. And the Page of Cups is wearing lotuses on his tunic, I notice. That is about finding the beauty in mud. Lotus flowers, lotus seeds, and all that kind of good stuff, they must be planted in mud in order for them to grow. And I can see how going through a really difficult transition, having to process all the memories associated with an old situation, that's kind of having a foundation of mud, so to speak. But out of that grows something beautiful and new. Last and definitely not least, you have the Hermit, and it appears below the Nine of Swords and below the Hanged Man. And I note that the Hermit's number is 9, and that's associated with the Nine of Swords. There's the possibility that you could greatly overthink the downloads that you're getting from the universe. The universe is asking you to rest after this time of upset. Definitely not for too long. With the Ace of Wands, I'm getting that eventually, sooner rather than later, some people are going to start sooner than others, but you need to get started on your new life. You need to process the pain associated with the past, and you need to move forward in the guidance that your ancestors, that your personal guides, and that the universe are taking you through. Whatever downloads they're giving you, think them over for a bit, mull them over, and then go forward with this new knowledge. I'm seeing with the Hermit that there is going to be a sense of not solitary confinement per se, but it might feel like that sometimes, where you just need to be alone, away from people. Even with this Page of Cups, which we often associate with a new love interest, a new baby, or something like that, new social situations, this might simply be the space of, I didn't expect to feel so good after this Tower moment, which was so traumatic. That these memories that I'm processing, maybe one day you can see them in a different light, that they were blessings for the time period that they were in, but now you need to move forward. Definitely with the Hermit, I'm getting studying a new way of doing things, and I would expect to see that with the Ace of Wands. This is about studying that thing that you've wanted to get into, but you've never felt like you had time to do, or you never had the space, or maybe even the desire to. Maybe your old life kind of sapped that energy for getting into this study of this new thing that you wanted to do. But definitely, I see you having gone through, or you will go through, a difficult moment in order to make way for the new wonderful things that need to come into your life if you are to progress as a person and reach your highest best self. I hope that you take these messages to heart. I hope that you work with the universe, your ancestors, your guides, to reach your highest and best self. Please take care. Best of luck out there.